No regrets gold, same thing, 32 weeks, starts in September, ends in May. What was interesting this year is we started the year with a bunch of guys that signed up and said, I'll go ahead and do this. And it reminded me of when I went to boot camp. Well, a lot of you guys are serving in the military. When you go to boot camp, you made a decision and a promise to join one of our military service branches. And you get to boot camp and you're kind of excited, you know, this is it, I'm going to do it. Then there's also a little anxiousness of, what did the recruiter not tell me? But down that road, right? Can I measure up? Can I do this? Well, I have to say, these guys, through God's Spirit and through these lessons, have measured up, and they're graduating tonight. So tonight we are going to honor them. We're going to hand out certificates, and we're going to give them their No Regrets silver coin. And I want to bring Alan back, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about the history in the military of the coin, challenge coin, and what it means to be a man of no regrets and have that challenge coin. Thank you.
So as Bob said, we the three of us went through the first class in 2010, 2011. We graduated, and when we got started in there, we kind of had an idea what it was going to be like. Wasn't sure what it was all going to be, but as we went through it, there was kind of a theme that went with it all along of this band of brothers. And you start out at a table like this, you don't really know each other. By the time you finish up 9 months later, you walk through life with these guys, and you definitely have a different relationship with them. You have people in your life that are going to be men that are going to be in your life for the rest of your life. And so there's guys sitting in this room that I went through the first class with, that I have been through year after year with, seeing some of you guys, and have that same relationship of a band of brothers. And so when we finished up the first year, we had the same graduation ceremony, and there was probably 40, 50 guys that graduated. And as we finished, we had no idea what to expect, what was going on. So we ended up getting these certificates, and then we were also given this coin. And it was a challenge coin. And so kind of the story behind it, if you're not familiar with them, is it kind of originally started back around World War I, and in the different branches of the service, they would have this coin, and in it was your branch, or it was your team, or your group that you were specifically plugged into. And so on one side of it would have your branch, and the other side it would have whatever your theme of what your team was. And so you would carry this thing, and so through your whole service you would have this coin with you, you would carry it, and it's in your pocket, and it's a reminder of the commitment you made to those guys. It's the commitment you made to your country. It's the commitment you made to yourself and your God, whatever that was. And so over the years, these challenge coins have kind of grown into other businesses and other team-oriented things. And so as we graduated, we got this coin. So it was the silver for the first year. The second year it was a gold. So when I finished my second year, I have a gold coin, and I have this. I bet you in the 10 years I've had this coin, I could count on one hand the times that it has not been in my pocket. It is in my pocket, and I love it in there. And I have my hand in my pocket. It's a reminder of the commitment I made to God. It's a reminder of who I am. It's a reminder of the commitment I made to the guys at that table, and year after year as we continue to meet. So as you guys have those, let me ask you this: how many of you guys have your coin? All right, okay. So here's how this works. You may want to start carrying your coin more often. So the deal is, because right now I'm gonna get a lot of free stuff tonight. So the deal is you're hanging out, whenever you run into one of your buddies, you're out somewhere, and you went through it with it, you do one of these, you throw it on the table, and so you're challenging him, does he have his coin? If you look at me with that look right there, like that, then right there, so going back from World War I, it was like, you owe me a drink. And so if you throw it out there and he has his coin, he throws it back at you, you owe him a drink. And so that's just kind of the thing behind that. So there has been plenty of guys over the years that I will run into, even here at church or wherever, and I'll be out somewhere and I'll pull out my coin. And one of my son-in-laws went through this several years ago. And so I'll still get him on it. You know, for a while he had no idea where it was. He ended up finding it. So he will, like, when I walk in the door, he's like, I have my coin. We're good. So anyway, so you guys are going to give this tonight. Hold this, honor it. In and of itself, it has no value. It is just it's a coin. But what it represents for what you guys went through for these last 9 months of doing life together, let it be in your pocket as a reminder of your commitment to each other. And when you feel that thing in your pocket, stop and pray for the guys that were in your group. Pray for your leader. And again, just let this be a reminder of the commitment you made and let it challenge you as much as you challenge others with it.
Okay. I'd like those grads to come on up, stand over here. That's you guys. All right, so the way we're going to do this, we're going to muddle our way through it somehow. First of all, not all of our guys are here. Some of them are right down there on that little Apple device. They are here via Zoom. My group actually, through the whole year, we have some guys that live Boise, Idaho, Fresno, and they spent the year with us. So, guys on Zoom, hi guys, glad you're here. Glad you can make it. And so I'm going to announce them first, and then I'll get your coins to you guys. First one is Jeremiah Kincannon. Second is Sherman Ho. Then we have Sedano. I don't believe Sedano's on. I'm not going to even attempt his last name. And then we have Stephen Dodd. So our first guy that's here is James Smith. You can go over one of these gentlemen and get your coin. Then I have Emilio Catalan. We have El Petro. And John O'Leary. All right, Jim, you want to do the honors?
All right, this is our next group of guys. These guys met in person throughout the year. First one is Dan Myers. Ken Nelson. David Gray. Ryan Kurtz. Paul Connors. And Mark Borrego. That's yours.
All right, next up we're going to hear from two of the guys about what this last 9 months has meant to them. And you're first. Al, get ready.
I just finished a No Regrets Silver, and I have to say that I'm really glad that I took the plunge back in September. 2020 was a rough year to say the least. You know, it took the disillusionment of the COVID situation and the events of the summer and fall of 2020 to really bring me to the realization that my faith and trust needs to be in the Lord and not in any human institution or political leaders. So I never really thought that I would need to join a men's group. I thought church on Sunday would be enough. But after joining No Regrets, I've come to realize how important fellowship with Christian brothers really is. So I was isolated, and really just withdrawn within myself, and it was a very lonely and depressing place. But I was encouraged and strengthened by the men in my group and some of their perspectives on the Bible, which I had never considered before. These are men who are in the same situation in life, who share the same concerns and struggles as I do. And I really started looking forward to our weekly meetings as a respite in the chaos of our times. So the encouragement and the prayers of the men in my group were a great support. No Regrets has deepened my faith and trust in the Lord, and I encourage anyone who is on the fence to take a leap of faith and sign up for No Regrets. I'm looking forward to signing up in the fall for No Regrets Gold. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Al Tetro, and about 2.5 years ago, my wife and I, we had moved back to Southern California. We were looking for a church. And my brother-in-law, Dan, and his wife, Sharon, introduced us to Friends Church. It was between November and December 2018, and Matthew sucked us in, Chris sucked us in, Kyle sucked us in, Jay sucked us in with everything he was going in, and we fell in love with this church. I signed up, we got baptized by Matthew in April of 2019, and then we went on the journey of Rooted. And I can tell you 5 years ago, my marriage was falling apart. My wife and I were separated and life was not good. And Rooted kind of started to rebond us together. And that's when I got to know Drew Heim very well. And he has taken time out of his life to spend time with me one-on-one here at the church. So, however long it's been now, a year ago or so, my wife said, there's this Men with No Regrets thing that's going to go on at church. So I'm like, okay. She goes, I think Drew Heim's running it. And I thought, well, if Drew Heim's running it, I got to be a part of it, because whatever he does, I have followed in this church. And that's no joke. And so I joined it with no reservation. I treated it just like I did with Rooted. And I walked in with these guys, and I just opened up my heart and my soul. I have an interesting background in life, so that's for another night. But what happened was these guys listened to me, and I listened to them, and we started going through these books, and camaraderie is not even a word for it. But one of the things I've been wanting to do for years and didn't know how to go about was get back into the Bible. I just didn't know how to do it. I grew up in the church. I grew up as a Catholic, and I got away from the church. I was done. Like I said, I've got a storied background, and these guys helped. I mean, they're knowledgeable in the Bible. Most of these guys are very well schooled in the Bible, and I'm not. And so I was able to learn a lot of things. And as we would go through Scripture each week and certain Bible verses, I'd read the paragraph before the verse and the paragraph after the verse, because I needed to know the context. I needed to know why, not just the verse. And then I started getting real honest and started talking about my marriage and how I treated my wife. And I can tell you, Pam and I were talking about it this morning. Our marriage is better than it's been in years. We've been married coming up on 25 years. And I will honestly say she's not the one that's changed. The way I used to talk to her, the guys know, I finally got honest. I mean, there was nights I'd come in to the meeting and I'd tell them stuff that was going on. But then we started getting into life. And I mean, Jimmy one night was listening to something that happened when I was a kid, and he says, you talk about, you were worried about how it affected these people and how they felt, and he said, but I don't hear you talking about how it affected you. And I was like, wow. I mean, he was actually listening to me, and it was so insightful. If you guys have not been, and it says no regrets, but it's men with no regrets. And I want to die with no regrets. said I wasn't going to cry tonight. I cried rooted. Drew had me speak at rooted, and I think I cried through the whole dang thing. I know. I was a guy that was very angry for a lot of years, and I didn't cry. I pushed down my crying with anger. And so now you just can't stop me, and I can't shut up. So, you know, I got to tell you guys, these guys, shut up, Sherman. He's loving it. He's sitting there laughing and loving it. You know, we talk about stuff. The relationship with our families, with our kids, the stuff we don't want to do, the stuff we're afraid to do. You know, the things, areas that we didn't even know that we had an issue with. Until you hear another guy talking about it, and you realize you're not alone. So guys, I don't care how tough you think you are, you know, or how soft you think you are, or any of that stuff. Find this room. Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. So, as Drew said earlier, no regrets is the highest level of discipleship that we offer to men at this church. No regrets is not a Bible study like you've been to before. It is much, much more than that. Each week, you will have Bible memorization. You will have Bible study. You will have podcasts to listen to. You will have lots of homework. And homework each week is measured in hours. Is measured in hours, not minutes. So you can count on a number of hours each week. It's a commitment. It's a big commitment. But the benefit is amazing. To watch God transform these men's lives, sounds like you heard these guys, is phenomenal. Our God, we got a big God. He can do a lot of stuff. He can take a dying situation and make it a blooming flower. So I want to conclude by reading an excerpt from the very first lesson of No Regrets. No Regrets is put together by Pastor Steve Sonderman, and this is his opening salvo. He says, "Welcome to the No Regrets study series. I do not know a man today that wants to be at the end of his life looking at the rearview mirror and seeing a long list of regrets. The regret of being a passive father, the regret of a failed marriage, the regret of standing on the sideline, the regret of going through life alone, the regret of broken promises. No, the men I know want to get to the end of their life and be able to say, like the Apostle Paul in 2 Timothy 4:7, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. The men I know seek to live life with a purpose, participating in something bigger than themselves to make an impact on the world around them." So I want to ask you guys, you ready to take that challenge? If you are, you want to be in No Regrets. So I'd like to ask all the guys who have graduated No Regrets, silver or gold, just to stand. So you other guys, if you have a question about No Regrets, there's plenty of people to talk to if you have a question. No question is too big or too small. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bob, and congratulations. It's a lot of hard work, but it's beautiful to hear the stories of what God has done. And I think about what Jesus says in John 10:10, and he says, I've come that you may have life. And this is what the offer of Jesus is more and deeper life than we could ever imagine. And if you're like me, there's little pockets of deadness and numbness and mess. And the opportunity to unpack some of that with guys in a safe place, to build relationships with and to grow with and find healing and freedom, it's incredible. So thank you guys for modeling and leading the way. And that's, really not just no regrets. This is what our church is about. And so we hope that you'll find a place to plug in and get integrated and experience what Jesus has to offer. So we're going to wrap up here. I want to say, again, thanks to John and for all of your hard work. And your team. John worked really hard to put this thing together and did an excellent job, so thank you. Two quick things. One, we are seeing God breathe some new life into the men of our church in this season, and I think this is some of the fruit of that. And so we're going to continue to have future gatherings with some regularity for men to be together, to connect. Some will be just mostly social, where we can eat and hang out. Sometimes we'll bring in a speaker as well and do some worship. But there's going to be more opportunities like this. So we encourage you guys to read your emails or come to church, and you'll see some promotions for more things like this in the future. Second thing that I want to draw your attention to is that at each of your tables, there's a little card. And there are a lot of ways, again, as we think about the offer of Jesus to bring more life, there are a lot of ways to step into that. And so each of you guys have a host at your table, and they can help facilitate this for you. There's some pens in the little center cup and these cards. So I'd love to encourage each of you guys to fill this out. If for nothing else, to just say, hey, I'd love to know when there's another men's event. That's one of the little boxes there. But there's a lot of other opportunities to get connected into community, to learn more about No Regrets, to explore more about faith, to serve and use your gifts around this place or in the community. So would love for you guys to take a minute and fill that out. And we'd love to help you take a next step here.
Thank you, Drew. Yeah, so I hope you guys all had a fantastic time tonight. And if you didn't, it's Drew's fault. So we'll talk to him about that. But if you had some good comments, you can let me know, and I'll take those. But I just wanted to, first of all, I gotta thank a couple of guys. I couldn't have done this without a team. We put together a team for all these events that we're going to start putting on for men's. And our food team is Chris Hooper, which is back there, and Patrick Thayer is over here. So, all that fantastic food we had tonight, those guys did it all, and it was just, they're awesome. Well, also Ted, I think he was locked in there.
Come back, Ted.
Ted was in charge of the table decorations and the setups, and table set up and set up, whatever he done. Tim Guerrero is in charge of our table hosts, and he did a fantastic job getting that together for us. I'll help out facilitate that, as well as Victor Wright, which is back there, and he runs our prayer team. Has been praying over this, and obviously God came through, as he always does, because we were at 100, and that's what we were hoping for, and we hit just under 300. So, you guys, this is just been a blessed event. And I just want to thank all you guys coming out. I hope you had a great time. This thing, we're done, so we don't have a lot to do.
We're not
but
done
what we're
yet.
doing is what we
Not
want.
done yet.
Oh. That would have been bad. I should have forgot that. All right. See? That's it. Underneath 10 of your chairs, underneath 10 chairs, there's a $10 gift card to our waiting shop. So when you get up, check underneath the chairs and you won a $10 gift card. That would have been bad. I hope you guys got along because I have no idea where they're at. Somebody might come in with a All right, okay, let's think just before, so we're gonna hang out here, we're gonna be here till 8:30, this thing, the event goes till 8:30, but you guys just hang out, whatever you guys wanna do, but, our event is pretty much done on that.